Hello, everyone. We are back. Hopefully, you have missed us. It's been. It's been.
I thought you were saying we're back. Hopefully, we are back.
No,
we're physically here. Yes.
We're definitely back.
We're not ghosts.
And we hope that you missed us. Okay. We missed you. It's been a full month since our Fireside chat.
Has it been? Okay.
Yeah. No. So we last left you when we were headed to LA. We were going to the Podcast Movement Convention. We hope to do a Fireside chat there. Never saw a fire. We did see a fire from afar. We wanted to do it. It didn't work out.
And had bourbon.
And they had bourbon, yes. We just didn't have the time.
Couldn't
was
put
the
all of
problem.
them together.
No. But we had the intention, not the time. But then my travels continued, and it's been a whirlwind. So here we are. We're back.
Yes. We're back.
So we're going to start with something fun since it's been a while. We have a game that we're going to play. Coming off the heels of Jesse James.
More of a contest.
Okay, contest. All right, yeah, but let's have a drink first.
You caught me in mid-sip with the contest
throw. Really,
throw to the contest.
Having happy hours, what this is all about, so we need to be.
Okay, so for everyone who's listened to the Jesse James series, hopefully you saw that there were three titles of episodes that had very recognizable language. Hopefully you recognize them. So there were three titles from the Jesse James series that were homages to famous songs. So the first person to send us a direct message on social media or send us an email through our website to name the three Jesse James episode titles that are also very famous song names and the original artists who sang those songs will get a free T-shirt. So send us all that information, the three episode titles from Jesse James that are famous songs and the original artist. Send us that information through direct message on social media or through the website, the contact form on the website, and we will send you a free T-shirt. Happy hunting. Do not shout it out all over social media if you know it.
Direct message.
Yeah. We don't want everybody in the world to know it. We can get a timestamp on it, and we'll figure out who won the contest. So we'll send you a free T-shirt.
And we will let everyone know when someone has gotten the right answer.
Yes, we will post. Yeah, we'll post out there that the contest is closed because someone has sent in the right answer. So happy hunting. When you see this, hopefully you'll recognize those titles and you send us the right answers.
Well, and that starts to get me thinking a little bit. Like, I actually have been thinking about this.
Too much thinking. Don't do it.
It's been a lot of thinking since we saw you last. I shouldn't do that for my own health.
We need to cut way back on thinking.
No more thinking. Because this is the problem, is that I got very sad. So Jesse James ended, and I have a problem, as Chris knows, with I get very attached to the stories, I get very attached to the characters, and then they're gone, and we're not talking about them again. It makes me very sad. So my question, and I think there's people out there that feel the same way. I mean, there were people that wrote reviews saying that they were crying at the end of Black Sox. I was too. So I think that people feel the same way. So I had this question for Chris. Do you get sad? Like, like you're done with Jesse? Like, you're almost done with Dillinger? Like, when the season is ending, are you like, you feel this connection to the story or the characters?
Yeah, it's twofold. Number one, there's a little bit of sadness because most of these stories have been long stories. They've been 6, 7, 8, 10 episodes long. So they're long stories, so I end up sitting with them for a long time, 6 or 8 or 10 weeks. There's a little bit of sadness that the story's done, that the characters are done. There's also an incredible urge to pop a bottle of champagne or to grab a bottle of bourbon and have an immediate shot that it's done because.
But that's like every night.
It is. It's a little. We double it for when the season's done. It's like a season finale of a TV show. You have to think. People who work on these big TV shows, they go through months and months of production. They get to the end and there's a huge wrap party at the very end.
Right.
Or at the very end of a movie production where you've spent weeks or months working on this thing and it's been this grind and you just go until the very end. And then you collapse and you have a party and you sleep for a little while and then you do the whole thing all over again. So that's basically what it's like for me, except without the collapse and the downtime. It's just one right after another. But yeah, there is a little bit of sadness at the very end. And so, but I quickly then have to just move on and find the next person. And unfortunately, with Jesse James, it turns out the Jesse James series ended the exact same way it did the last time.
I know.
Jesse,
that's the problem.
You got sad twice. You knew how it was going to end. You've heard it once.
And that's the problem.
And you still got sad.
That's why I don't get.
That poor Jesse didn't make it through the end.
Right, and like that's why I don't get. I get so invested in the story every single time that I'm like, I know the ending. These are historical stories. I know the ending, and I still get so invested. I get so sad. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw that fantasy football commercial where there's the girl and she's sitting in the convertible. She's got her jersey on, and she's clearly her team lost, and she's bawling. I mean, mascara is just going down her face. I'm like, I feel you because I am the same way at the end of a podcast series. I'm like, no.
So people do get that invested in their fantasy football team, and I guess we get invested.
I used to be that invested in football
stories.
also,
Right.
so I guess I just get very connected.
I was huge into fantasy football. My friends will laugh at me, still make fun of me for how invested I was in fantasy football for 7 or 8 years. I think in the first half of the 2000s, I was huge into it, and then realized I was, like they say in Top Gun, I was hanging on too tight, and I had to let go. I was like Merlin, I think it was. Who was the guy at the very? No, Merlin was Tim Robbins. Oh no. So it was Maverick and Goose, and
Iceman?
Someone in Merlin.
Are you talking about Top Gun?
No, the opening scene of Top Gun. Maverick and Goose are in one plane, and someone and Merlin and Tim Robbins are in the other. So it's someone and Merlin in the other plane.
So this is our other game. If
my
you
God.
know, please help
This
Chris.
is horribly embarrassing. Usually I'm fantastic at this. Okay, we're gonna have to move on, and hopefully I can come back.
So
to
if
it.
you happen to know the other person in the opening scene of Top Gun, please
my
put Chris
God.
out of his misery right now. So on a serious note, there is something that happened recently that I thought that got me thinking. About here I go thinking again, but that I started thinking about the women of
Cougar.
Cougar.
Cougar and Merlin
Yes.
and Maverick and
Yes.
Goose.
Well, who played Cougar?
I used to know his name. He went on to become a director. He actually
Okay, that's
stopped
what I thought.
acting
I
and
thought it was
became a
something that
director.
we knew,
Yeah,
so, okay,
it's,
so
I'll
that we
never
knew.
remember his name
Yeah.
in real time here, but
Yeah.
Cougar and Merlin and Maverick and Goose.
Okay, so we put
Oh
that
my
to
God,
bed.
like
so
Cougar, I was hanging on too tight.
That's-
Oh God.
That's no longer a contest. But on a serious note, we were talking about International Women's Day, which was just recently. And if we would be able to go back in time, talk to personally any woman who we have spoken about on the show or is to come in one of our upcoming seasons, and I know you guys don't know everything that's coming, but we do. And so I asked Chris, who would be the first woman that you would want to go back and have a conversation with. I clearly know who it would be for me, but I'm going to let Chris answer first.
Yeah, mine is actually a halfway spoiler of a season that's coming up that everybody has requested, that everybody knows is going to happen. It's the story of Bonnie and Clyde. Will get told soon. So I would want to go back and talk to Bonnie Parker, I guess, if we're going to choose one from our arena, our world here, and have a frank conversation. Just talk to her and find out why. How did this happen? Why did you end up doing all this stuff?
And so dedicated to the task of killing very innocent random people.
Yeah, really dedicated to it. Seemed to really enjoy it. So I think I would want to go back and talk to Bonnie Parker.
That'd be fascinating, actually. That would be, if I had two, that would certainly be the other one. Mine is Calamity Jane. May seem very obvious, but I'm just fascinated by Calamity Jane. I mean, we know the Old West as a time that was very kind of ruled by men. I mean, it was like kind of a man's world back then. And, she really bridged the gap, from that. I mean, she really tried to kind of be one of the guys, which she did very well, but then she was also a woman, and she had a very sensitive side to her, and did a lot of great things and good things for the world. Not that men didn't, but it was just, she was a fascinating character to me, and I could go on about Calamity forever. And
I think there's also so much shrouded in mystery with Calamity
agreed,
Jane,
yes,
that to actually go back and talk to her and find out what was actually real, and what's been corrupted over time, and theories that we have now adopted that we think we just assume are true. So I think finding out fact from fiction with Calamity Jane would be fascinating.
And even just, her massive obsession with Wild Bill.
Yeah.
What did she
What
really
was the
have
truth?
this?
Yeah.
Exactly. What was the truth of that? I mean, I just find that fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, that is her biggest legacy, is her fascination with Wild Bill. Is it even true?
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot that we can uncover. But so let us know, if you could go back in time to talk to one woman in history, who would it be and why?
Let's do two parts.
Okay.
A woman who's in a show that we've already done, like
Yeah.
Jesse James' wife, or Billy the Kid's girlfriend, or any of Dillinger's girlfriends. And then anything, you don't know which seasons are coming up, but anyone in the historical realm,
Right.
with which we have talked about, the Old West, and in this, infamous America, the
Salem
Old
Witch
West,
Trials.
and oh my gosh,
that's
yeah.
amazing. That would be an
Oh, why
amazing
didn't-
group of women.
why didn't
I know.
you think about
I know. I
that
actually did think
beforehand?
about that.
Yeah.
Like I did. But
any of them.
But there's so many of them I would want to talk to.
Any
It's
of the
just-
women in the Salem Witch Trials.
Exactly.
We'll just go through the list of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
who would yours be?
Right.
We want to know.
All right, guys.
Cheers,
Glad to
Calamity
be
Jane.
back. Cheers.